Brains, brains, brains. Hi guys, greetings from lockdown Somerset. I'm going to talk to you about obverse and reverse and what this really means and stances. Before we were kicked out of the clubs due to the virus, it was clear to me that a lot of people did not understand what obverse and reverse meant. I mean, a lot of people couldn't name any of the stances. I even had a black tag tell me that was a double forearm block. You know who you are. Anyway, I want to talk about obverse and reverse, and in the stances, the left and right, and what makes a left and right stance. So, let's start with a simple. Let's do a walking stance. Now, any stance that has 50-50 weight distribution, Bristolians, that means you've got the same weight on both legs. 50-50 weight distribution and length. You know, like a sitting stance doesn't have length. It's sideways only. There's no forwards and back. You know, which leg have you got forwards in sitting stance? Huh? Again, parallel stance, no left or right. Attention stance, no left or right. Closed stance, no left or right. However, so we're looking at the stances with 50-50 weight distribution and length. That could be your walking stance, it could be your fixed, it could be your low stance, it could be your fixed stance. Any others you can come up with length as well as width, you know, like Sasson Soggy. Maybe we didn't think of that one, diagonal stance. Anyway, so if I'm in a 50-50 stance with length, if my left leg is in front, I'm in a left stance. If my right leg is in front, I'm in a right stance. But you see, some stances aren't just 50-50 weight distribution. Some stances have more weight on one leg than the other. Now, the leg with the most weight on it is the one that names the stance. This is easiest seen in something like bending ready stance, because, you've got your weight only on one foot. So there's only one foot in the stance. So if your right foot is on the ground, of course, that must be a right bending stance. We look at other stances. You know, one of the most used ones we come up with is L stance. 70-30. 70% of the weight on the back leg. So the one with the most weight names the stance. So right now, I'm right leg back. 70% of my weight is on the right leg. This makes this a right L stance. Other stances, if you think about them, you've got your X stance. Which leg has the most weight on it? Well, the one that's down on the ground, that one, that's got the weight. That one there, the other one there is the prop. So that names the stance. So if your right foot is flat on the ground, whether you've stepped in front for a black belt pattern or you've stepped behind, colour belt style, the one that's flat on the ground names it. Same goes for rear foot stance. The one with the dominant weight, the most weight on it, names it. I'm right leg back. That's a right rear foot stance. That goes across the board for all of the stances. You got it? So if anyone says to you, is that a left or a right sitting stance? It's neither. It's a sitting stance. Cool. Now let's talk about obverse and reverse. Now, we understand what reverse is, you know. Look, there's my palm, and its reverse is round the back. It's the back. It's the opposite side. We all know what the reverse is. You know, what's the reverse of me? That's the reverse of me. Some of you say it's my best side. But obverse. If you look obverse up in the dictionary, it says, as of the face showing. Let's think about what the word obverse will mean to us to understand obverse and reverse in terms of Taekwondo for us now. Think of obverse as meaning same as. Yep. So if I say do an obverse punch in a walking stance. So look, I've got my left leg forwards in my walking stance, making it a left walking stance. So if I've punched with my left hand, left, same as the left stance, same as. Obverse punch, same as. Left hand, left stance. Punch with the other one, you know, like classically we've done middle block punch. That's a reverse punch because I'm still in a left stance, and that is my right hand. And it'll be the same in walking stance the other way round. Same as, now I'm in a right stance, my right hand, same as obverse, other hand, left hand in a right stance, reverse. Now that's quite clear, but it starts getting a bit tricky with things like L stances and fixed stances. You know, a fixed stance is an L stance, but it's a longer 50-50 weight distribution. So, you know, if your L stance is 70-30 to the back leg here, the fixed stance is longer and you are 50-50, the weight in the middle. Now remember, with a 50-50 stance, same weight on both legs, the front foot names the stance. So I'm right leg back, I'm left leg forwards, I'm in a fixed stance, 50-50 weight distribution, the left leg in the front means I'm in a left stance. But just pull back to L stance, 70-30, the dominant weight is on the right leg. This is a right L stance. So right L stance, slip the front foot to fixed stance, left fixed stance. So if we wanted to be really hair splitty, in fixed stance, you know, like one yo, into one yo, you're in the fixed stance there. Same as left foot, left stance, left hand. That's obviously an obverse punch in fixed stance. But you come back and do the same thing in L stance, like in Chungun. You've got your walking stance, you pull all the way back to the shorter and 70-30 weight distribution L stance. I'm now in a right L stance, and that's my left hand. So that must be reverse to the punch. So that's an obverse punch, that's a reverse punch. Ah, my brain! So Taekwondo people, when they invented this stuff, to save us getting all confused, what did they call this punch? In fixed stance and L stance, they call it a side punch. So this doesn't get too confusing. You don't think of an obverse or a reverse punch in a fixed stance. You guys doing Farang, you're very clear by now. You've heard the term, you pull back from the low block to the L stance, and we call that an obverse punch. Obverse, same as. The first one you do, your right leg back to your right hand. Same as, obverse meaning same as for this purpose. Right hand, right foot, obverse. If I punch with that hand, that's reverse to the stance, but we don't call it reverse. We call it a side punch. Obverse, reverse, left stance, right stance. So, sitting stance, knife hand strike. Is that obverse to reverse to the stance? It's neither. It's not a left or a right sitting stance. That is a left knife hand strike in sitting stance. Got it? Obverse, same as. Reverse, opposite to. You name the stance. If it's got length, 50-50, front leg names it. If one leg is more dominant, that one names it. Clear? I hope so. Hopefully this has helped you guys and given you a little bit of entertainment as well. Stay in, stay safe, and hopefully we're looking at this video in 2 years' time when we're going, oh, that was horrible times. And then I've been teaching Taekwondo and I've been out on my motorbike again because this is getting to me. Bye, my lovers.